Hi everyone, I am back with week 2 of Junicorn. I am doing another compilation of the week's prompts. The first prompt is open the door. I interpreted that a little bit loosely and went with a gate instead of a door. I wanted to start out this week's narrative with my character opening the gate, which is going to lead into the next prompt that we have. So with that format, I decided to work on my perspective and do that 1-point perspective with the gate opening up onto that little tree-lined alleyway. The second prompt is escape the labyrinth. And again, I went with a slightly loose interpretation and went with a hedge maze instead of more traditional labyrinth, which would be like stone and stuff. At least in my mind it would be. Again, I was trying to work on perspective and wanted to do a little bit of a 2-point perspective. These are skills that I do have and just have not used lately, so I am a little bit rusty with them. But following the girl out of the maze, we have our third prompt for the week. This one is first day of school, and this will be the first delivery for this character. She is just coming up onto the campus here, ready to deliver her mail. For this one, I decided I would do a more simple 1-point perspective again, and then I made it more difficult by adding in buildings with arched ceilings and windows and all sorts of things that I don't normally do, and definitely made this a lot more difficult than I had intended it to be. But it turned out okay, so it's fine, and I polished up those skills. After that, we move on to our fourth prompt. The prompt for this one was ignore the warning. And as you can see, those storm clouds are definitely building. Maybe they can outrun the storm? We'll have to see. I did have a little bit of a struggle with this one, as buildings are not something I do a lot of, and I definitely struggled with perspective and just the general buildingness of it all. But it turned out okay, and I was happy to move on to the next prompt. Final prompt for this week is don't look under the bed. And again, slightly loose interpretation, as camping on a rock shelf is not necessarily a bed, but I definitely had a lot of fun. Spooky is not my go-to type of art, but oh my gosh, it was so much fun just stepping outside of my comfort zone and doing something that's just a little bit more creepy, spooky, fun time. I do love spooky things. Not too spooky, but a little spooky. Thank you all for coming on this little journey with me with week 2 of Junicorn. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you will join me next week for week 3. Maybe I will actually be caught up on my art by then. Probably not, but we can hope, right? And I also wanted to apologize for any weird audio you might hear in the background. I did my best to block that out and make it hopefully not too noticeable, but I unfortunately did have to record this with the air conditioning on, as it was just way too hot to do it without. So again, apologies if there's any weird sounds in the background. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a good day and have a good Junicorn. Bye!